What's your surname? And how many people in the world do you think share that name? The diversity of answering that question might surprise you. The legacy of the transatlantic slave trade is in the names used around the world. All people are mixed, whether it's Anglo-Saxon, Portuguese, Ghanaian, Scottish. And if you're Caribbean, you're more likely a combination of all of these, whether it by union or by force. After American independence, Scottish landowners focused their efforts on the Caribbean. By the end of the 1700s, a third of all plantations in Jamaica were owned by Scots. This could be why the Scottish, Jamaican and Confederate flags are some of the only ones to feature the St. Andrew's cross.
So let me ask you, do you really think they told you the truth about who was on those plantations in America and the Caribbean? I'll let you answer that question. I'm about to show you official archive documents and show you exactly how nobility from Europe and their descendants got to America and the Caribbean and the origin of a lot of your surnames. Now, you have to know who the Jacobites are to put these pieces together. I'm going to go through this real quickly. The Jacobites are basically a political party of supporters for the Stuart dynasty or House of Stuart. The person you're looking at on the screen is James Charles Stuart, okay? He's a famous Stuart king, better known as King James I of England and the VI of Scotland. Now, this is the king who authorized the KJV Bible. Notice how he looks. Very interesting. Now, King James I, he had a grandson, James II. Now, when his grandson lost the throne, that is when the Jacobite movement kicked in full force, okay? Now, to make a long story short, the Jacobites, they fought several times to get the throne back, but they failed. They lost, okay? And at that point, they became prisoners of war. And that's what we're looking at, the official archive manuscripts. Notice what it's called, prisoners for transportation. These are indigenous Europeans, and we're about to take a look at these people. And this is in the 1700s, okay? Now, I'll be coming from this book is based on the manuscripts I just showed you. It's titled Jacobite Gleanings from State Manuscripts, published in 1903 by Forbes, okay? So let's take a look at these indigenous Europeans. Now, they claim people who look like us were not Jacobites, so we should not be on this list. Okay, let's take a look. Now, I only highlighted a few. There are plenty more. I'm not going to go over everybody on this list. I just want you to notice the two I have underlined. You can clearly see their complexion, okay? And let's take a look and see who they were, get a couple of details, okay? You have James Dunbar. He was 17 years old, a laborer. You have Joseph Brown. He was 16 years old, a tailor. Okay, these are indigenous Europeans who already have their surname, okay, and they had families. Now, we're looking at page 49 if you want to screenshot this. This is page 48 if you want to screenshot it. This is page 50 if you want to screenshot it, okay? Now, one quick note, the list I just showed you, the French captured that ship and those people and took them to Martinique, which is in the Caribbean, okay? Now, this is a very important part, where deportations of indigenous Europeans and Jacobites, okay? Now, we're coming from the same book, okay? Now, notice the first thing I have underlined, okay? We're just going to read that line. It says, all the rest are safe arrived at Barbados, Jamaica, and Virginia. These are more deportations to America and the Caribbean, okay? Now, notice what I have underlined in the last snippet. Plantations, okay? These indigenous Europeans, these Jacobites are being sent to plantations. That's important. Now, notice it said Jamaica. Let's see what happened in Jamaica, okay? I'll be coming from this book if you want a screenshot, okay? I'm going to summarize this real quick. They noticed that the Jamaicans who look like us had a lot of Irish surnames, but when they searched the records, they could not find plantation owners with the same name. Now you should see why. Because they had their surname before they were deported. They were indigenous Europeans, okay? Very important. Now, this is what was happening in America. When these indigenous Europeans who look like us when they were being deported to these plantations, they were being classified as Africans, but they were still speaking the Gaelic, which is the Scottish and Irish language. I hope you understand that point. These indigenous Europeans who look like us were on these plantations still speaking Gaelic, okay? And notice these are 3 different articles. Notice the title of the article at the top. It says, The Gaelic-Speaking S's of 18th Century America. I just showed you a list from the 18th century, and I'm going to show you another list with 10 more ships in a moment from the 18th century with Jacobites, okay? And this was not isolated. The article in the middle of the screen, people who look like us were on the plantations in North Carolina speaking Gaelic. The article at the bottom, people who look like us were on plantations in Alabama speaking Gaelic, okay? And again, one more quick thing, because they try to tell you, they'll say, oh, well, they learned Gaelic from their masters. They did not learn Gaelic. They did not learn that language. They were speaking their indigenous language. I hope you get that part. Your surname is your name. There's always an exception. The exception is not the rule. For the vast majority of cases, your surname simply comes from your ancestor.
This is Standard 4 in the Infant Jesus preschool in Plymouth, Montserrat. The faces may not be terribly familiar to you, but I think some of the names will. Let's try some of the names. What's your name?
Eugene Fleming.
Eugene Fleming. Is that right?
Eugene Fleming.
Good man, Eugene. And what's yours?
Sean Castle.
Sean Castles. And what's yours?
Jerome Mead.
Jerome Mead. Is that it?
Yeah.
Good man. Now let's try some of the girls. What's your name?
John Burke.
What is it?
John Burke.
Joanne Burke. Is that right? Good girl, Joanne. And what's yours?
Michelle Castle.
Michelle Castles. And what's your name?
Irish.
What's your first name again?
Coming Irish.
Colleen, is it? Colleen Irish. Is that your name?
Yeah.
Good girl, Colleen. And what's your name?
Michael Ryan.
Michael Ryan. Well done. And what's your name?
Miriam Cathy.
Marianne Kerr. Is that it? Good girl, Marianne. And what's your name?
Sandra Farrell.
Sandra Farrell.
Boss for every boss, done for every done. Ever militant, so it and so it and. Humble like column, tell them no confusion.